Hello my beautiful badgers, Messy Coder back again with another live dev interview, this time with Placeholder Software, the developers of Dissonance, my favourite voice chat software in the entire world. Picked it up on a sale many years ago and I haven't regretted it since. They also made Fancy Folders and something called WetStuff. Ooh, misses. So sit back, enjoy this lovely video that was taken on my live Twitch stream, all the w's.twitch.tv/themessycoder, and I'll see you all in a second. Hello? How are you?
Hello, Twitch. All right, thanks. Yeah.
Did you say hello, Twitch?
Well, you know, I've got to say hello to everyone. So be polite.
I love that. Hello, Twitch. That's the best. That's the politest. That's the politest hello introduction anyone's ever given when they've come on the show. So how is
Brits?
That's Brits. How is the audio at home, everyone? How are the levels? Martin, do you want to sing "God Save the Queen" or something?
Definitely not.
I was saying, like, you know, you're the Dissonance guy, but you're not just the Dissonance guy, are you?
No, and there's not just one of me either. I should give a shout out to Tom, is the other half of Placeholder Software.
There's more than one.
Me. Yeah, well, you know, I cloned myself. I thought that'd be a good way to start a business.
You've got this wet thing that you guys are doing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was mostly Tom's idea, actually. He knows a lot about graphics programming. So, yeah, this is...
Oh,
you can just make any...
We just had some audio playing on that video. Just clicking play on the video you sent me. Make any surface appear wet. Make it nice and shiny. Okay, my computer doesn't like the fact that I'm playing a video and I've got Discord going at the same time. So, can you still hear me? Is my computer completely frozen? Fresh Meat says I'm feeling wet. Well, it's good to hear that you're feeling wet, buddy. But I think I may have just broken the audio with Martin.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. You're still there. Seems I've lost you for a moment.
I don't think your computer...
No, I'm gonna have to stop the video because it doesn't appreciate it. It doesn't appreciate it at all. I'm gonna try closing some things down. Feeling wet. So there's what is this? What is the two of you? So you've got one graphics guy and you're the programming guy.
No. I mean, we're both programmers, but you know, he sort of specialises in graphics programming. So, you know, shaders and magical stuff with DirectX pipeline that I barely understand.
Ah, so you got your very own shader guru.
Yeah, and WetStuff was pretty much his baby. You know, he developed the idea right from the start to finish. I just did all the debug.
So what prompted it? What prompted the idea? What helped give birth to it?
I'm not really sure where it came from, to be honest. You know, we were trying to come up with ideas for what to do after Dissonance, and he suggested this. So yeah, I'm not really sure where that came from. I think it's a pretty clever idea though, because you know, normally if you want to make something wet, rewrite all the materials in your game, you know, to have a variant for wetness or not. You can just stick down, you know, like a puddle shape, and it's wet. So it's much easier to use.
I love this little splashing, this bit in the video, because I've got the video is okay if I play it from your YouTube, and you've got these little raindrops splashing. I love that. It's lovely.
Yeah, and you can do really cool stuff with this. Like the raindrops, all of the wetness on the ground is one massive decal. So that's actually really cheap to render, despite the fact you've probably got, you know, 10,000 raindrops hit. And like, you know, this puddle is 2 or 3 puddles, I think, stacked on top of each other just to get sort of the right shape that I want.
Oh, let's play this one again. Let's put it on. Make sure it's on high def. Oh wow! Okay, that's really high def. Let's click that. Let's see if my computer explodes. Let's do this.
Making this was oh,
Oh no, it doesn't like that. That's where it draws the line. It was like, no, tell you what, 4K. No. Your computer can't handle 4K. None of that. And I got a big red. OBS just went big red light just appeared, saying you are dropping all of your frames, my friend. OBS just said. So here we go. There we go. That's more like my computer can handle. Make any surface appear wet. Oh, I lost you again, Martin. I think no, you're back. Oh no, there. This is what happens when Messi's computer tries to handle two things at once. Tell you what, let's go. Okay, how about this? Can my computer handle? Do you know what? I think I need to buy two computers. Everyone keeps saying that you need to have two streaming computer and a gaming computer. Now I'm beginning to understand why they say that. Because you try to play a video when you're talking to someone and then the audio just cuts out. Blinding, isn't it? It's wonderful. Technology at its best. So, does this work with things like CTS?
CTS?
You know, the terrain shaders. So
oh yeah, yes, I think it does. Yeah, it works with most stuff because it modifies the G buffer. So you do the normal rendering that renders, you know, plants, landscape, characters, animated characters, and everything. They all get rendered to the G buffer, and then this renders the G buffer to make them modifies the G buffer, sorry, to make them look wet, and then carries on with the normal renderer. So like yeah, you can modify pretty much anything that will work with a deferred shader. And because it's like just in the middle of the render as well, if you've got post-process effects like screen space reflections or anything like that, those will work with Pod. So I've got some really cool demo images on the store page with you know, like a city scene, all the roads covered with water, which again is just one massive puddle covering the whole city. And you can see reflections of the buildings off screen and everything. It looks amazing.
I really hate the new store because I'm trying to scroll through the images and stuff. You know, you used to have this little downy, uppy arrow thing. You can't see it. So it's wet stuff off, wet stuff on.
Just like a couple of weeks.
There we go. Oh, have I lost you again, Martin?
I think I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Barely hanging on.
Oh, at least I'm not dropping frames anymore. Oh, the other day we were playing, or I had this interview going, and I was dropping frames every 3 seconds, and people could only watch me through a potato.
Oh, nice.
Sanyo's asking about skinned meshes like characters.
Yeah, they should work. But basically, if you turn on the frame debugger and you go to the G buffer stage, if you can see it in the G buffer, WetStuff will affect. To be fair, that might not be quite what you want in some places. Like if you put down a puddle on the ground and then your character walks through it, you might see like their feet get wet and then turn dry as they walk through the puddle, because the puddle is like a 3D volume. So actually sometimes you want to like mask things out of the effect and stuff like that. But yes, it will work on anything basically.
And it's cheap on the old processors, so it's not actually going to end up killing your FPS.
No, it should be pretty cheap, yeah, because it does like one pass to render out what is wet and how wet it is, and then it just does this one single pass that modifies the G buffer. So it's a bit memory heavy, I guess, but not particularly. And in terms of actual calculations, it's pretty lightweight because it's just like multiplying a few numbers together in the end.
Mark in South Georgia, what do you got him on Verizon? I think you'll find that in the UK, we're pretty crap when it comes to the old internet as well. And it's not just you guys in the States who've got terrible internet. We can match you over here as well, this side of the pond. Don't you worry about that. So you've got WetStuff. Well, I got excited when I saw WetStuff because I saw WetStuff's free. Wow, it's WetStuff with Enviro and WetStuff for Unistorm is free, but it's you need to get the WetStuff first. I don't know.
Oh yes, yeah. It was kind of hard to write the store, like the copy for the store for that, because it does look like it's free, and I tried really hard to make it not look like it's free, but there's not much you can do when it has a massive free button sort of right next to it.
Has anyone actually got it and gone, this doesn't work, I need XYZ?
I don't think so. I mean, luckily, like the first thing it says on the store page for those 2 free ones is like, you must have this. So I think it's pretty obvious, at least.
I love this review. Although the asset is classy for real classy type, it is not for the beginner who has to learn as much as possible. With that being said, some crucial features are missing to identify this working correctly.
Yeah, I have no idea what they mean. You get reviews
is this a robot? I don't even know if it's a real. I think it's just like random words that were put together. I love your reply. Hi, Scholtner. We're very happy to receive feedback on what you think is missing. Open up a feature request on the issue tracker, blah, 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 and we'll see what we can do. Which is your way of saying, you're a robot.
Pretty much, you get these reviews on the asset store sometimes, and yeah, I have no idea what I meant to say to this kind of thing, really.
How are you enjoying being an asset store developer?
Well, yeah, it's a learning experience.
would you do it again if you had your time over?
I think I probably would, actually. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting community. And the nice thing about putting something on the asset store is, you've got a pretty sort of focused audience. You know what they want. They're Unity developers. So you can find some really interesting niches, and you know that if you put something on the store, people in that niche will probably find it. So I think it's pretty good for that. And I've generally enjoyed it.
I love the way you say, the Unity developer. Well, to be honest, surprisingly number of people on the Unity Asset Store aren't actually developers in any way, shape or form. They just want to get a load of assets, throw them together, click the magic button and have it appear as a game. Well,
yeah, that's fair. And actually, like, one of the first things we say on the Dissonance chat store page is there's no scripting required. So, I guess we support throwing a load of crap together.
Dissonance makes it easy to add real-time voice communication to a multiplayer game with no scripting required at all. Love that, at all. Now, I was umming and ahhing about buying Dissonance for a long time. Like a long time. When did you came out in? When was it? 2017. Yeah, Jan 2017. And I was like, do I want it? Because if let's be naughty and type in voice chat in here, and then you can get like Photon Voice is free. You know what I mean? You got some other free. There was another free one which seems to have been deprecated now.
DF Voice, I think, used to be a thing.
So I was like, well, do I really want to spend money on something where I can get a free thing? And I tell you what convinced me at the time was this. So you did it, naughty, GDPR, get rid of that. Dissonance Unity voice chat. You got this Photon Voice, and then you've got Dissonance on the left. And obviously you got loads of ticks on the left and then a few ticks on the right. And it was that made me go, ooh, I've got no idea if I need any of these things, but I've got ticks on them.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad that worked, because when I put this site together, just recently I've been thinking I should get rid of that whole chat, because I'm like, this is just giving sort of free advertising to Photon Voice. But hey, I guess that shows what I know about online advertising.
It did work. It worked for me. This actually got me to purchase it. Oh, also for the fact that it was on a sale as well at the time, made it a little bit more attractive for my wife to allow me to purchase it. She doesn't know yet that I did it. Will Dissonance support the new transport layer?
Yes, when the new transport layer actually works. We've had a couple of requests for that, and I looked into it, but there's barely anything there at the moment. I think it can send packets, but not unreliable ones, and it doesn't support channel. It's very, very bare bones at the moment.
So how did you get into the whole Unity networking? Are you a network guy by trade?
No, I guess I would say my area of expertise is procedural generation, and Tom's area of expertise is graphics. So
hang on,
we got into.
Your expertise is procedural generation. His expertise is graphics. Your first asset is Dissonance voice chat.
Yeah, well, it was basically we sat down and we were like, yeah, we're going to develop Unity assets, and obviously we want to do something with procedural generation, like procedurally generate graphical stuff, like that's totally our area of expertise. But we should do something simpler to start with, and somehow simpler turned into voice chat. I don't know how that happened.
That's insane. It's Sanyo, exclamation mark voice. Because Dissonance, I kept spelling it wrong. So I'm like, you know what? Sod it. These boys here, they can have exclamation mark voice. It's theirs. It belongs to them. And also made a Bitly Unity voice. So yeah, in my mind, after playing with Dissonance, I tell you what, once you get Dissonance, there's no going back. So there is only one voice system for me. And all of these networking you've got here, Unet, Forge, Photon, Steamworks, I don't know what that is, Steam something or other, I suppose. And then you've got Darkrift in there as well.
Actually, that's out of date as well. We've got Mirror and just Mirror, I think we've added since.
Yeah, it's just Unet though, isn't it?
It's surprisingly different actually these days. I thought it was just Unet when I started using it, and it turns out they've made a ton of breaking changes.
Wow, he's coming into chat as well. Eventually, finally going to nail down a date. So, Freshie, have you got the link for our live dev interviews? Freshie's got the link for everything. He'll post it in to tell us where they're in. So you could pop in and then have a chat with him while he's talking to me live about your integrations that you've done with his Mirror stuff. Thank you, Freshie. Much appreciated. So how different is it?
It's lots of little things here and there. And to be fair, I would guess if you're using it from like a high level, like dropping components on things and configuring it to the inspector, probably nothing is broken. But obviously Dissonance is using it from a very, very low level, like setting up channels and all this kind of stuff. Basically stuff no one else actually really does. And it's a few little things they've broken at that level. So it's nothing major. And like I say, most people wouldn't even notice it. But part of the problem I had with it though was like Dissonance obviously is sending a lot of packets because it's voice has got to be sent in pretty small packets to be low latency. So Dissonance is really careful not to allocate anything for each packet sent, and Mirror just allocated absolutely everywhere. So we had a pretty long discussion where I basically tried to convince them to change the entire direction of their project to not allocate things. It kind of worked, actually.
How did it go? Did you convince them?
Well, I mean, initially I posted a pull request for a couple of things and they rejected it because they were like, look, it's one of the core policies of this project that we don't reduce garbage collection. And then like a couple of weeks of me moaning about this, and they eventually changed their mind. So they now accept pull requests if they reduce garbage collections. And I think that's really important, actually, because I was working with someone on Mirror with a VR game for voice, and it just performed awfully. Obviously a VR game pushes your PC pretty hard anyway, and then garbage collections would just push it down to like, I don't know, 20 frames a second every minute for a second. which is not the end of the world, but it's not great to play either.
Is that the VR one that you showed me, or was that a different one?
No, that was a different one. I think it's still in development, actually.
Can I show a link to that one that MMO
Orbus,
game?
yeah, go for it.
What's it called?
Orbus VR.
Orbus. There it is. So if you're wondering, can you use Dissonance in the real world for a big multiplayer game, which I've had conversations in the past about, and obviously, a lot of people here want to make a multiplayer game because they're the big and shiny things, and if you're using voice, not too sure how much fun you're going to have voice chat in a single player game, to be honest. You could use voice chat in a single player game. You'll end up just chatting to yourself mostly. But here we go. It's a multiplayer proper MMO. Is it a proper MMO, like, you're talking about thousands, or is it a pretend MMO?
No, it's a full-blown MMO. I guess there's probably a couple of thousand people in a server.
Let's have a look. Let's make it big. So there you go. You're walking around in your pajamas. So it's World of Warcraft meets VR chat meets. I've got no idea, to be honest.
Sword Art Online.
This is what puts me off. Also, not only the fact that my wife won't allow me to buy a headset, but I know that I'll just be smashing into stuff in my little bedroom because I don't have the space for this. How do you use VR without destroying your home?
Carefully.
That's cool.
No, I'm pretty lucky to have a fairly large space for it, but yeah, a couple of my friends have got really small spaces for it, and there have been a few nasty injuries. I don't think anyone's smashed their computer monitor yet.
That surprises me.
Fatal videos of that online.
I suppose you don't even need to be in the same room as your computer, though, do you?
No, although they've all got a cable at the moment, which is kind of...
It's weird. So I haven't. Oh, here we go. Now there's a bit of fighting going on. I was about to say this whole trailer that they've got doesn't have any fighting. So they use Dissonance for the in-game voice chat. So how does that work?
So it was a pretty cool one, actually, because Dissonance has got this whole thing where like you can swap the network backends out. So the point is you can do it over like any network system you like. But obviously the problem with Orbus is Dissonance is kind of built assuming that the client knows who's in the session. So, the client has a full list of who else is in the session, which is fine for 10 or even 100 people. But by the time you've got like 5,000 people in the session, obviously isn't going to work. So we actually built a custom server backend for it that it basically fakes sessions. So every person in Orbus is in their own Dissonance session, and then the server puts people nearby into your session, and then takes them out of the session when they walk away. So from your perspective, you're in a session with like 10 or 20 people who are standing nearby. From the server's perspective, you're in a session with 5,000 or so people, and it's just playing tricks with you to swap you in and out of these sessions on the fly as you walk around the world. And it actually turned out to be really simple to do that. So there were no changes required at all on the client side, and then, yeah, a little bit of custom work on the server side.
So how much of your help did they need as customers?
I think we were on a call for a couple of hours, just sort of hashing out the architecture of how it all worked. And all their backend is written in JavaScript, so they had to write. They knew they had to write a custom server anyway, because obviously our server is C#. So yeah, a couple of hours. Didn't take very long at all.
Wow. And is that normal? Like you're happy with spending a couple of hours supporting customers?
Well, that was paid for a couple of hours.
I was going to say that would have been very generous.
Yeah, if it's like a video call or something, I wouldn't usually do that for free. But yeah, I'll answer emails. I guess within 24 hours most of the time. That's a large part of my day is going off and answering emails from people.
So how do you handle the delegation of work between the two of you in the team?
Basically, I handle all the sort of front end stuff, support, setting up the stores, that kind of thing. Tom's usually working on the back end stuff, or setting up new assets, CI, all that kind of development infrastructure. I quite enjoy going out and setting up the stores and doing that kind of stuff, but I hate setting up all the back end rubbish. I appreciate having CI though, so it's a pretty good delegation, I think.
You've been lucky in that Dissonance is quite pricey compared to smaller assets on the store, which means that you probably don't have like ridiculous high number of clients that you need to support.
Yeah, and
that's
going back to what you said earlier, actually,
like stuff, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's better to develop pricier assets. Because I mean, obviously, WetStuff is, I can't remember what we sell it for, like $15. So we need to sell 7 copies of WetStuff to break even with 1 copy of Dissonance, and WetStuff is fairly complicated, so it does have some like support. So I think if I could go back and give myself advice, I'd say build fewer, more expensive assets. You can just afford to like do a lot more development work and support work and that kind of stuff with that kind of asset.
That's the thing that the I'll drop that down. So as soon as I play a video, the audio goes. It's a conversation that I've had with quite a few different asset store developers that they say don't underprice your work because you're underpricing your time, but you're also devaluing other assets on the asset store and causing prices to drop. So that's one set of arguments you get from people, and then the other is that the cheaper your asset is, the more people are going to buy it who don't know how to use it. So if you're dropping the bar, the entry level to get your asset, it's cheap, means people don't really know what they're looking for or actually how to use it. They're more likely to purchase it because it's a cheap asset. People who purchase more expensive assets tend to be people who've got a bit more knowledge or know what they're going to be using it for, at least. Or no.
Yeah, that was the chance I was going to say. Like we put out these free integrations with WetStuff, and one thing I'm really worried about with that, because they haven't been out long, is that because they're free, people are going to like download them, see that they need WetStuff, delete them, and just put like a 1-star review. Didn't work without WetStuff. And that's kind of a worry of mine at the moment, that we're just going to accumulate these terrible reviews. And that's not what you can do about that, really. But they've only been up for a month, so we'll see how it goes.
It hasn't happened so far, though, has it? Apart from your one robot.
No, although we have got that one robot review, so
Should we? I've got WetStuff and Enviro in the project. So should we delve in? Because I'm aware that we've been chatting.
Much, have you?
No, I've not used it at all. When I say what, I have just imported it now before we've gone on air, to use a fancy phrase, to make it sound as if we know what we're talking about. So even though I've got both Unistorm and Enviro, I've elected for Enviro just for the fact that it's easier, it's simpler to get started. I like both. Now you've got videos here showing how to do the integration with WetStuff and Enviro. I'm not going to bother with that because I've got you on the phone. So
perfect.
I've got you there for a reason. Now I'm going to share my screen with you on Discord, and I hope that it won't cause things to explode. I've got the lights on at the top of the video, everyone at home, because it's Easter weekend for people on the other calendar. So my Serbian, Russian, Ukrainian, Greek, miscellaneous friends, it's your Easter too. So let's share the old screen. Let's see if the computers can handle it. So turn on screen share. Let's see if this works. Share. Tell me when you can see it, Martin.
Yeah, that's working.
Yeah, brilliant. Hey, Funtech. Just in time to look at Martin's wet stuff. It sounds so. I love that it's called wet stuff because I can use so much carry-on humor here. It's amazing. All right, so.
You know, it originally had some really boring work in progress title like wet surface decals or something.
Oh, that's boring.
Just renamed it to wet stuff like 5 minutes before release.
I'm glad you did because it's good. You like your wet stuff. All right, so I've got. Shall I load up the Enviro demo scene sample?
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone's wondering why my Unity looks weird, do you want to explain to people why my Unity folders look a bit weird?
Right. So this is an asset that we're releasing. I don't know, probably a couple of weeks when it works. Called Fancy Folders, and all these icons, the text, all that stuff. That's coming from that. So you can, if you look at like the demos folder in WetStuff, that's showing that in that folder you've got scenes, materials, meshes, textures, and it's showing that all the way up the tree. If there were a script error, you'd have like a little red exclamation mark. All this custom text that's customizable to say whatever you want. So that'll be
let me make
a
that
couple
a
of weeks, I guess.
I don't even remember now what it was. So this 150.9 megabytes in 66 items, that's not normally there, is it?
No.
Because I don't even remember what's normally there. I'm so confused.
What you've got is the text, all those little icons, the little exclamation mark, and the subtle little separator lines between every item. They're all new. And if you look on the right-hand side on the big icons, you've got all the same icons over there as well.
Let me make them even bigger. So I've got exclamation mark. Is this an exclamation mark? It's a bit faded in there. So
yes, that's like the status icon. So at the moment you've just got like no status. But if you changed it and you had version control on this project, it would have a little icon to say changed but not commit. Or if there were a build error in that script, you'd have a little red exclamation mark, stuff like that.
How on earth did you manage to hack all this in here to be able to do that?
Well, basically Unity's got one single callback that says, I'm rendering this icon, this item in this rectangle. And that's all Unity tells us. And so we just worked out like all the offsets for where icons are. Fun stuff, like obviously if you've got something on the left and something on the right, you might see it twice. So we work out whether you're on the left or on the right by what the aspect ratio is of the rectangle that you're being drawn into.
Oh, so does that mean I can muck stuff about by having it in different places? Like if I put this here,
Not.
I get overlap, but other than that, haven't managed to break it. That's odd. I was expecting it to break. Hey, good old buddy. Odin Spectre should have something like this, says Navy Mind. So how much is this going to be?
Pass. Probably about $10, but give or take 10.
What happened to your lesson to yourself to not underprice your assets?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of bearing that in mind when saying 10. I think Rainbow Directories, which does I don't know, about a quarter of the stuff this does is 15. So yeah, maybe we should price it a bit high.
Rainbow Directories? What on earth is that?
It does. If you open up the plugins folder, it basically does colored icons and color, but I think that's it.
I don't know what this is.
Is it Rainbow Directories or Rainbow Folders or something?
Rainbow Folders and Rainbow Hierarchy from Borodar. Is that the one?
Yeah.
$20.
Oh, right, it's 20. Oh, well, I guess we should raise our prices.
Paid update. The first version of Rainbow Folders was initially released 3 years ago. It's on a paid update now. We're glad to provide 50% discount for all existing customers. Upgrade free purchase previous version in last 30 days. Oh. So
That's news to me.
I didn't even know these things existed, and there's already an asset war going out between them, between Rainbow Folders 2 and your one, which isn't even released yet. God, this is exciting times. All right, so yeah, wow, I didn't even know this was a thing that you guys could do. Nice. So I've now you told me before if I click Alt, well, no one at home can see it, so I need to click on monitor. Okay, so not sure if you can see either when I'm sharing screen, but I've clicked Alt and I've got here editing demo assets box has appeared, and then it says detailed text, and it's got curly brackets, size, curly brackets, in, curly brackets, count, curly bracket, items. Ooh, so that's the text that appears on the left hand side. Cool. So the parameters I can use are name, size, count, GUI ID, and status. Background icon color. Oh, I can change the color of the icons.
You go into plugins, fancy folders, examples, and there's a load of sort of demos of what you can do.
Oh my word! Look, the folders are different colors. If an icon example. Oh. Oh, it's got an icon on it. Steam icon, text. Oh, this is nice. Oh. Let's have a drink. I got so excited I had to take a drink. So, this is. So how much is this going to slow down my Unity though? Is this going to mess up my editor?
Nah, it's barely doing any work. It's drawing, I think, like 3 or 4 textures per item, so it's pretty lightweight. And everything's cached,
Okay.
It's caching what's what.
I'd just like to say that please don't read chat, because Mark in South Georgia is being inappropriate. Terms of service, Mark. Terms of service. Messi's getting wet stuff. So if I alt left click, I can change overlay icon. So how do I choose the icons? Like if I want to add custom icons.
So if you go, I think in Fancy Folders, there's a icon set, and then you can customize the icon.
Fancy folder default icon set, fancy folder set,
and then you can just edit that. You can't currently add new icons, but you can replace any existing icon. And obviously, we will be adding custom icons.
I was about to say, I was like, come on, man, no custom icons. It's 2019. What kind of crazy language is this just speaking? There's a lot. It's scriptable objects. I love scriptable objects. Oh, this is. Oh, I had no use for this. I didn't even know that I had a need for this, but now I see that I have a need for it. But what happens, like if I want to make an asset now, so I'm an asset developer, yeah, and I've made my asset, and in making my asset, I organize my folders nicely using fancy folders with icons and colors and whatnots and wops, and then I want to package my asset and sell it. Have you got like a DLL library kind of version of this that allows me to bundle it with my asset?
No, we haven't, but that's a good idea, actually.
There you go. It's a gift. All about ideas, mate. All about sharing the love.
The stream, excellent.
Because then, they don't. I can have it bundled, and the person at home doesn't need to be able to go in and edit what that folder looks like, because obviously I made the asset and it's my folders for my asset that I want them to be organized nicely. And if he wants to make his own folders, then he just goes, wonder, how did they do this? And there's a little text file that says pop over to the store. Obviously the link is going to have a asset affiliate voucher from the Messy Coder, obviously, in everyone's asset. And then they click that link, and they go to the store and they purchase fancy folders. So it's the advertisement gift that keeps on giving, allowing developers to use fancy folders in their own projects.
Yeah, that is a really cool idea, actually. We had a few other ideas with things like when you looked in that fancy folders settings asset, you saw a list of like everything that's been set in the project. So we've thought about things like automatic defaults for folders. So like if something's got a lot of textures in it, we automatically, I don't know, make it blue and put a little texture icon on it.
Oh, nice, like Windows.
And obviously making the automatic stuff configurable is something else we thought of. Or sharing settings. So, we'd have like project-wide settings or per user settings. I don't know which would override which. I guess user overrides project settings. But yeah, there's a lot of tricky configuration stuff we can do.
Nice. Question, Navy Mind saying dark theme plus fancy folders equals, I can't even read that. But have you tested this with the dark theme?
Yes.
And it's fine?
Yeah, it looks really cool, actually.
I need to play about it. I'll need to use it with my obviously legitimate version of the dark themed Unity, not the not having edited the file in the hex editor at all.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea.
Dark theme. No idea.
No idea whatsoever. Fresh meat. Whatever you do, do not paste a link for my. I was trying to find it then. Do not paste a link, Fresh meat, for my tutorial on how to make the dark theme on your Unity for free. That's on YouTube. Nobody paste that link in because that obviously doesn't exist. So don't paste it. Why is it taking so long to paste it? Come on, man. Should what have we got here? Should be overwritten by a local installer. Fancy folders though, otherwise we end up with rainbow projects installed. Yeah. Should be overwritten by a local installed fancy folders though, otherwise we end up with rainbow projects. What do you mean, Funtech? I'm sure you understood that, but I didn't really understand that.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh, Navy Mind's been banned. Navy Mind got banned for posting a link. Please. Okay, just reminder. If your sub expired, it means that you can't post links anymore. It's automatic. It's automatic, Navy Mind. I do apologize. Mate. Only subs can post links in chat. But I still love you. Alright, so it started by playing with your wet stuff and ended up with your fancy folder.
Right, yes, we were doing Enviro and wet stuff, weren't we?
So let me get back into your wet goodness. Alright, so samples of Enviros. Here we go, Enviro samples. Don't upset the Twitch police. Okay, so please click on Enviro Sky Manager to add Enviro instances. Okay. It's been so long since I played with Enviro. I love Enviro though. Which one do I do? Create standard instance? Activate?
Oh, your screen sharing has suddenly stopped working for me. That's brilliant time.
As it stops?
Yeah, it's just blinking on and off.
How about now? Can you see it?
Yeah, I think that's working.
Hang on, let me stop it. Start it again. How's that?
Right, that's working.
There we go, we're back. That's what she said. You're going to get it on lease tonight for your information. Alright, so I'm playing about in this scene here. Let's click play and see. I don't even know what's in this demo scene. Okay.
Right. Oh yeah, I remember this scene.
So clear sky, stimulated. Is it doing anything? Shouldn't there be other ones? Okay. Anyone actually remembers how to use Enviro? Please remind me how to use it, because I haven't used it in about a year or so. You've got the links to his packs. Can you post them, please? Yes. Thank you so much, Sanyo and Fresh Meat, for your quick voice and wet stuff. There you go. Alright, so now I've got wet stuff integrations in Enviro. Okay, so what should we do?
Try that demo, because I won't actually remember how that one works.
If I click on dripping roof, don't save. Oh, I've got some nulls. What have we got here?
Oh, well, that's a good start, isn't it?
Should I clear that? They didn't happen. Oh no, they're still there.
Just pretend they've gone away. That looks like something in Enviro hasn't been initialized properly.
It's Enviro's fault. It's all Enviro's fault.
100% Enviro's fault.
Let's click play and see what happens.
Oh, sweet. Just ignore the constant null spam.
Alright, so how do I make it rain?
It should be raining automatically. So
okay, so there
I think I know what's broken.
Alright, so we kind of worked out the broken bit is the Enviro. Here we go. So maybe it's the profile. Maybe Enviro is not working on the latest version of Unity.
It's only 2018.3 though. Should be working on that. Try having a look at the Enviro effects one.
Say again?
Try having a look at the Enviro effects game object.
Nothing like that.
No. Okay.
Alright, so
nobody in chat knows how to use Enviro.
Sengoku, you know how to use Enviro a lot. You use it all the time. Maybe I need to add it in. Window.
It should just work in the demo scene.
It should just work, shouldn't it?
Oh, what about Enviro setup? Actually, doesn't that have some stuff on the very top level? No. Okay.
It works on my 2018.3.1. Alright, Fresh Meat. Remind us how we use Enviro. Please control, drag the prefab into the scene. I love that we're getting Enviro 101 with Enviro. Which prefab? You got to be a little bit more specific. Go to camera. Alright.
Oh, hey,
oh, here you go. Look at
That's
this. Look at this. What's going on here? What's going on? Yolan. You haven't seen you in ages, Yolan. Alrighty then. Now, Fresh Meat, which prefab were you talking about? Today,
I think what we've got to do is fix those null scripts. So
yeah,
I'm going to
should
open
they
this up
be?
locally.
Yeah, exactly. Have a look at your one.
Obviously, Unity takes an eternity to open, so.
I hate this new whole prefab thingamajig. Oh, Yolan's been thinking about picking up your wet stuff. Right.
Hey!
You'd love his wet stuff, Yolan.
No one can resist my wet stuff.
No one can resist it.
Right, where were those nulls? What object was that on?
Okay, so that's on main camera.
Main camera, okay. compare left to right. Well, it looks like you're missing Enviro light shafts, but that doesn't sound terribly important.
Enviro light. I can't even see light.
Maybe that's why.
It's odd. Assets create Enviro Sky Manager.
Or should we just create a new scene and demo the whole of the setup from scratch?
Let's do it! Alright, let's go crazy. Don't save. No. Alright, assets create Enviro. Okay, create Enviro down here. Sky Manager. Okay. And then welcome to blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Create standard instance. Okay. Boom. I just did an update today. My Enviro updated today, so I don't know. Okay. Activate volume. Let's do it. Let's go crazy. And oh look, all this microsplat, CTS, Uber. Mirror, Photon. You want to get yours in that list, mate. You want to get in that? Oh, look at that. All right, lovely. Okay.
I like that, like activating alternative shaders to add in support. I'm not really sure what that's actually doing.
Right. I think you did not auto-assign camera in Enviro Sky Manager instances window. Ah, okay. That's what we went wrong. Right, should we load up? Let's do it from scratch and then we'll load up your one and fix it. So from scratch, okay. We've got this now. I've got Enviro in my scene.
So I guess you need to click auto-assign on that thing you were just on.
Boom.
Oh, I think it's blue.
Okay, there it is. We got rendering, post-processing.
Okay, so if you want to set up WetStuff, you need to add a WetStuff component to the.
All right, where should I stick it?
Literally on the camera.
WetStuff.
Yeah, that's the one.
Camera must use deferred rendering path.
So change the rendering path to deferred. Yeah. Right, so in theory that should all work. So if you I'm trying to find where it is. There's a prefab inside WetStuff, which has the little demo scene. So that will just set up some content for you. But I can't find where it is. All right, so if you go to Assets, Placeholder Software, WetStuff, Demos, Demo Assets Environment.
There we go.
And then there should be a scene prefab.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. Just drop that in, and that's the little demo scene.
Everything's so shiny. Let's go. Where's the... I hate this new version of... I'm still living in the world of Unity 4. And my mind is still trying to get hold of it. Where's is lighting?
Then you have to change that inside environment.
Oh yeah, you got it. Okay. Sky Manager. I'm now holding back all my remarks. I would have been banned by on Twitch by now. Oh, so true. Alright, directional light.
Oh, that sounds about right.
These components add volume lighting effects to your scene lights. Okay. Please control directional light directly in Enviro Sky Manager lighting category. Alright. Sky Manager. Where is the lighting?
Is there a sub-entity for lighting?
Oh my word! Didn't even see all this stuff was there. Moon, sun, it's all hiding away. Of course, it's been so long since I played about with these things. Okay. Oh my word!
That light's not even on.
No. I just want to bake again. Rendering. Scene, game inspector, hierarchy, rendering. Here it is. There we go. Oh, it's all the way up at the top. Stick it down at the bottom. Lovely. Turn off that naughtiness. Ooh. There you go. Is that going to do anything? Save your scene. Alright, fine, I'll save it. Blah, blah, blah. This will be a good one to Discord recording our comments. You should hear my microphone. I want to bake again too. You can get kicked out. Oh, look at this. Look at this. What have we got here? Fog volume. What did I break? What did I break? I ticked something that I shouldn't have been around ticking. Ticked. What did I tick? Deactivate. There you go. Come on, deactivate. Oh man, what did I... There we go, that's better. I do apologise. If I click play now... Oh, look at that view. That's where... They're free audio listeners in the scene. So if I stick this up about here... Get this view. That looks like a good view, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that looks lovely. There we go. Alignment view. Okay. And where's our lights? Directional light. That's better.
Yeah, that's still pretty bright, but
so how?
So should we try?
Let's make it
static puddle on this.
Yeah. So if I in the which folder should
all
we
you
go
need to do is, well, you just need to throw up a new game object. Hang on, let me pull up my own documentation for this.
Let me just read my own documentation. Love it. There's a barrel in there, no.
Right, yes, I remember how this works. Right, so basically, throw up a new game object and add a wet decal component.
Alrighty then. So, right here.
Yep, wherever.
Wet decal. Right.
So hopefully you might want to turn the wetness up a bit and maybe scale it a bit bigger as well.
Right, let's just do it there.
Oh, I think it's off the back of the scene.
Yeah. It's miles away. There you are. Let's make it all nice and wet. Alrighty then.
So yeah, that's just the static puddle. You can just stick that anywhere, and you can obviously add like masks and stuff to it for different shapes.
So now
your classic square puddle.
Everyone loves a square puddle. Oh, bloody hell! I was not expecting this much control, to be honest, mate.
Well, you want to do some quite subtle things with puddles, like if you overlap that puddle with the rock, you might not want the vertical sides of the rock to be wet. So because you've turned face sharpness up or down, I can't remember which way around that works, but face sharpness fades off the wetness as the angle of the surface changes. So you can control like which things that you're overlapping actually get wet.
Ooh. Layer sexy rock. What do I want to change this? Single?
Oh, right, so this is, if put it to single, say. And then you can pop out that detail layer at the bottom. So this is where you can add mask textures for puddle shapes, raindrops, that kind of. So I think if you add, I think we've got one called Rgba Noise. Yeah, go for the Rgba frequency range one. So this has got like low frequency noise in the red channel and increasingly high frequency noise. No, other way around. Low frequency noise in the alpha channel and increasingly high frequency noise as you go towards red. So you can have like tiny, tiny little raindrops if you put red all the way up, or big puddles if you go with the white. Pop out the levels visualizer and you can kind of see what it's doing. So things that hit the top on the right are 100% wet, and things that hit the bottom on the right are 100% dry. So you can kind of control the sharpness of the puddles, what the mask does exactly.
Dude. Oh my word. I think I'm starting to understand. This isn't Dissonance Chat. This is a wetness package. Oh good. I bought it ages ago. I never got it working. Yeah, Baroque, this is the same guy. It's the same guy. Well, it's the same guys because actually, even though it's Martin talking to us, was it Chris? You said Tom. There you go. I completely forgot his name. So he is of no importance. He is of no importance. Stick him in the chat. Wake him up. Kick him. Wake him up. Tell him to come in and have a chat with us and type away.
Let me see if he's online.
So this was Tom's brainchild.
Yeah, pretty much. He came up with the idea. Developed it from scratch. Obviously, I helped him out with a lot of development, but it was very much his. And actually, remember in the demo video you showed earlier, and I said that there was one great big decal that was doing the whole town with rain. Yeah. This is how it worked, because we're interpolating the threshold on the red from low to high. So little raindrops appear all over the ground, one by one. So it's one decal, one render pass, very, very cheap to do. But you could make that decal 1,000 times bigger and cover a whole city with it.
Mark's asking, can you cycle it with your weather cycle? Like it rains, it gets wet. When it stops raining, have a delayed dry time.
Yes, that is exactly what the Enviro integration does. So the Enviro integration reads out the weather from Enviro and automatically controls some curves on a puddle. So you start with like little drops appearing on the floor, you build up some slightly larger puddles, and eventually just everything is wet. And then once the rain stops, we obviously the curves go in the opposite direction and things slowly. But there's little subtleties to that, like the drying of a puddle is not just a puddle getting wetter but in reverse. So we've got a different set of curves for drying as we have for getting. Change the layer projection mode to world and you'll get tiling textures. So you can make it bigger without stretching a texture.
Oh, okay, let's do the Enviro magic then.
Okay, so I think what you've got to do for that is create another game object. Doesn't really matter what it's called. And add a Enviro wetness source. So this is the thing that actually reads the wetness out of Enviro and passes it across to WetStuff. So that's basically 100% of the integration is that script. It's just reading data from there and putting it into WetStuff in the right place. And then if you go back to your puddle, delete the wet decal and add an auto rain puddle.
Auto rain puddle.
Yeah, so I guess just, so choose your wetness source, the one you just created. Oh, you didn't need to delete that decal, sorry. So add the decal back on and add it in there.
How dare you make me delete my precal. Okay, there we go, back in, let's do it.
Right, so what you can do with this is you can configure your puddle like however you want. You can add different masks to it, all that kind of stuff. And then the auto rain puddle will automatically control curves that fade in and fade out the puddle. You don't need to worry about most of those settings that you've just opened.
Nice. I like not to worry about settings. After all, I am an idiot. So now we need to make our enviro rain.
So, well, hopefully if it's auto playing, you should see it getting wet and getting dry over time. I think that works in edit mode. But yeah, in theory, if you started running this now and started a rainstorm, it should start getting wet.
We want heavy rain. So how do I make it only do the heavy rain one? If I put this down to 1 and just have one preset. No, I just did the wrong thing. Oh, bugger balls. Bugger balls! Where did I go? Here we go. Do I want to just remove all of these and just leave one?
Yeah, that should probably work.
Isn't it?
So I guess just remove everything except storm or heavy rain or something.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Oh, this is weird. Now that. Oh. Okay. See it? That's now it removes it and then.
Oh, you got to remove the item, then remove the empty slot. Nice.
And then. Can I have wet stuff with snow?
No, I don't think snow counts as rain, so wet stuff will just not do anything, which arguably is what you want. Right. Now, will this actually work? No, because it's not even raining.
It's not raining. What did I do? How did I break enviro? Zero. Boys, leave the up. Leave it at 6.
Chat, change the current weather and leave the update interval at 6.
Where is the current weather? Oh, here it is. Because I'm an idiot. It's right at the top. Okay. And if I just turn off weather configs, there we go.
Okay, that looks like rain. So if you go back to the puddle that we created before, I think you should see the sliders slowly going up.
Oh, hang on. I'm bloody loud on the old. That's better. Thank you, Freshie. Freshie's lovely. So, where did
you actually put the puddle?
Where did my puddle go? Did I accidentally just delete it? I got a feeling
You might have done, yeah.
I think I might have actually just deleted my prefab. Well done, me. Oh, I'm a genius. Alright, wet decal. Oh, yeah, don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Because, let's make it nice and big. Managed to get enviro and delete everything else. Right, I'm just going to shove it all over the whole lot. Then said, hang on, don't remind me. Right. Rain. Nope, where the auto. No, it was auto, wasn't it? Auto rain puddle. And where did it go again?
Has it just deleted itself?
It just deleted.
Wow, this is embarrassing, isn't it?
Ooh. Create empty. Gonna call you Gladys. This is interesting, isn't it? I'll have a look at the console. And I'm gonna say auto rain puddle. Hasn't deleted it now. And then we're going to go with wet decal. And then I'm going to say here, Gladys, you're going to be game object.
Oh, I think I might know what's happening. Let's see if this kills itself.
Do you know what the problem is?
I've got a guess. Because it does create and destroy new instances of puddles, like as it's raining. So I'm guessing that it's just destroying itself for some reason.
But in the editor?
Obviously, that's not meant to happen.
Okay. Still not using hotkeys for move. No. No, I'm never going to end up using hotkeys. So no. I'm old. I'm an old man. I can't change with the times. Look, I've got F. I pushed the F key. Come on, mate. Give me that. Give me that much. Autoplay. Ooh. Okay. That's interesting, isn't it? Look at that. Missing reference exception. The object of type wet decal has been destroyed, but you're still trying to access it.
Right. I think what this is doing is I think you're meant to create the wet decal as a pre. Yes, yeah, that's definitely what it is. I've misled you. Sorry. That's not meant to be a component reference. It's meant to be a decal prefab, as it actually says in the inspector right there, but I didn't read my own inspector.
So should I stick it?
So you want to create a prefab that just has a wet decal on it.
Okay.
And then the auto rain puddle will create and destroy instances of that decal like as it wants.
All right then. So, which one should I stick on the
Right, so you want to create your auto rain puddle and then give it a reference to the Gladys prefab, which defines your
auto rain. Holding in comments. Well, one day I might use the snap. One day I might use the snap. Auto rain. Auto rain puddle. Here we go. So,
lucky, right?
I've made my prefab for my auto rain. I'm gonna find my wetness, throw in my prefab, click on that. I don't have any freaky errors anymore.
Didn't break. That's a good start.
Didn't break. That is a good start. But why isn't it? I can't see my.
Try running the scene and see if it actually creates a puddle.
Okay. Hello?
No, that hasn't worked. Live demos, they're brilliant.
That's interesting.
So what it should have done, and what I'll obviously check after this, is it should have created a copy of the Gladys prefab as a child of the auto rain game object. And then as the rain continued, and like depending on the intensity of the rain, it should have curved in that puddle to make it wetter. And then when the rain stopped, it should have faded out the curves and eventually destroyed that puddle object.
All right, so that's hang on. So you can see that's. If I stick that there anyway. Copy that. Paste that. There you go. So at least it's in the right place.
Gladys doesn't have a position offset, does she?
Gladys doesn't look happy at all, though.
Oh, hey, there you go. That was weird.
Well, I dragged Gladys in myself.
Ah.
I cheated a little bit.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. There's nothing wrong with the occasional cheat. So I can see now, there it's wet.
But I think that's basically just a manually created puddle you've got there. I'm not sure why it's not tying up to Enviro properly.
I told you though, it's what I do. I break things.
Even that doesn't work. Perfect.
Oh, welcome to the stream. Now you've had the proper introduction to the stream. I'm just being bullied by chat for not using any hotkeys, and I've managed to break your asset. Typical English.
You know what? I created that entire demo video for WetStuff. I think I learned like one hotkey while doing it.
Nice. Well, I have to say that even just playing with your WetStuff without getting Enviro working properly, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, you can do some really cool stuff with this.
I'm just going to be.
And if you fiddle around with the layer settings, you can do really nice things like like I was saying, fade in very high frequency noise, so you get lots of little dots appearing, so it looks like individual raindrops splattering.
The first messy proof dev still needs to be born. I love that. Well, I'm actually, I would like to say, in some ways, I am qualified to be a QA engineer. So, in all the times I've been doing these, and not once has any of these bugs that I've found been reported in such a way that it's actually even useful for a developer as well. So it's like, yeah, I found a bug. How did you replicate it? Who cares? Next bug. Let's move on. Hey. So it's like, there you go. I've managed to break it. How can we do it? Can we recreate this bug? Well, who knows? But all we do know is that it's Unity 2018.3.9 using an asset that was updated today from the asset store. No idea if it works with this version of Unity, and so it could be, more than likely, I could have broken it with Enviro. It could be WetStuff not liking the latest version of Enviro, or it could just be me not knowing what I'm doing. It could be anything. That's what makes these videos so much fun. Neighbormind says, oh my god, after years of playing with Unity, I didn't know that hotkey. Which one? The Control Shift. Yeah, somebody showed me that one the other day. There you go. Do.
Oh, snaps. Wow.
Do. Can we recreate Phantom Bug? Yes, send it to my message. There you go. Yeah, I'm too expensive though if you want me to do your bug finding, mate. Millions I cost millions. Should we play with your, we've played with your nice fancy folders. I actually do love these. Is crazy. I can see what's inside your folder without even going inside it. It's just nuts. Blowing my mind. And we've mucked about with your WetStuff. Shall we load up the actual WetStuff demo itself? Because you do have some demos.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's supposed to look like. Alright, let's make it big. There we go. Look, ladies and gentlemen. So WetStuff actually does work in Unity 2018.3.9. Let's see if this remove wetness works. Oh, the folder app's not out yet. Are you accepting people joining like a beta test group or not for your fancy folders?
We weren't going to. But I guess if you see
me break things.
Martin at placeholder.software.co.uk, and yeah, you can break all of my.
Drop me in the Discord and I'll paste it into the chat, mate.
All right.
Or actually, I would say Fresh Meat can just give you permission to paste it in chat because he knows how to do that. So look, this remove wetness thing works in this demo. So I wonder how I broke it.
Yeah, that is pretty weird that was broken in the other one.
So this is puddle. What's timeline going to do? It's lovely and wet. It's weird. There you go, you've got permission. 10 seconds, quickly, do it, Martin, do it. Stick it in. You've only got 10 seconds to stick it in. Do it in quickly. Well done. That was quick.
Hang on, that wasn't even a link, was it?
No, it didn't even work, but you were quick, and that's all that matters. Didn't even notice it happened. It was so fast.
Oh well, email me, say hi, ask for fancy folders. We'll see what happens.
I hate to say it, but that's the experience I've had with it. Demos worked great, but I couldn't get it to work in my own scenes. Think it was using Enviro too. Which one was that? The Enviro or the wetness bark?
I assume he means WetStuff didn't work with Enviro.
Wetness.
If that's the case, definitely open an issue on the issue tracker. We'll get that fixed.
The issue tracker is the one that I sent the link last time, wasn't it? Let me scroll back up.
I'm going to get banned from this stream if I post a link to it, aren't I?
GitHub.com Placeholder Software Wet Surface Decals Issues. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. So if I click play.
Which one are we on now?
We're on rain.
Ah, yes. That is destroying your stream quality.
Is that ball getting wet? That ball... Hang on.
Yeah, play it from the start again and look really closely.
Look at your balls.
Yeah, they're getting wet.
That is... Look at this. Look at this, right? Can you see the little dots appearing? Oh, man.
And this is really exaggerated, obviously. Like in a real scene, you do this much slower.
That is lovely.
And now it's drying out.
Oh, man. Look, and it's shiny. Look, your ball's all shiny. Now it's dried. So I like it. It gets all wet and shiny, and then it dries out. That's amazing. And now I'm sold. Look. Okay, look again at his shiny ball. Right. I'm going to do it like this so you can see. So how does it get all shiny?
So it's you've got the G buffer, which the renderer is drawing everything into. So that's drawing out like depth, surface texture, color, all this kind of information about every pixel. And then WetStuff is kind of coming in the middle and looking at the surface properties. So we try and estimate some things like, obviously, say a rock gets wet in a different way to a barrel, which is why we've got those two things in the scene. So we try and estimate some of those surface properties and then modify the shininess value of the surface, which is part of the Unity G buffer, and change that, which makes it shiny. And the way we're doing it like that is perfect because it's just as if the surface were shiny all along. So like post-process, screen space reflections, ambient occlusion, all this kind of stuff that might look at surface shininess, that will all work. And that's why we can work with like skinned meshes or terrain or whatever, because that's all drawing into the G buffer anyway. So we're like slotting right in the middle of the perfect place.
Yeah, your barrel's drying up. Oh, I love it. Oh, what's this one? Particle splat. Oh, they just splashed it. Oh. Look, so you can have... What? Hang on. Wait, pause. Can I have wet footprints?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I actually experimented with that. I haven't... I planned to release it as part of the asset, but never got it finished.
So how would you do it?
I guess if you added like a marker on your character animation. So every time a foot hits the floor, you can emit some kind of event, and then just grab that event and stick down a wet decal at wherever the foot currently is. Obviously with a mask that looks like a shoe print. Maybe fade it off with like the number of steps taken, so footprints get drier the more steps you take.
Yes.
Or you could detect every time you step in a puddle and make it much, much wetter. So it would like dynamically, as you walk out of a puddle, you leave really wet footprints behind that slowly sort of tail off. Yeah, you could do that with like a reasonable amount of scripting. I think that'd be quite simple. Someone in chat said about blood splat. That is the thing that we get asked by like every other person with this asset. Is like, can you use it for blood splats? And it doesn't work because blood looks nothing like water. So if you just color the liquid red, it looks like someone's thrown Ribena all over the level. It doesn't look like blood. And I think there are already assets on the store that do blood splats, so there's not that much value in it.
I mean, yeah, there's if somebody wants to put Freshly, do you want to put a link to Rob, our freelance, another member of the community? He's got his blood splat, and he'll tell you that blood's very thick and gloopy and rather metallic-y. Yeah, I mean, when you've seen blood splattered all over the floor, you know blood doesn't look like water. That came out so well. I was about to say, anyone with kids will know what I mean. Which again, came out wrong. It is magic. Mel's, it's like magic, isn't it? So many possibilities, indeed. So this one is particles drip, drip, drip.
So this is every time the particle hits the rock, it leaves a splash, and then creates subparticles that themselves leave a splash.
Oh.
And this is actually done with the particle system. So you just attach, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a WetStuff component that detects particle collisions and places a wet decal where the collision. So it's really easy to set this up. Although obviously you've got to be kind of sensible with how you use that. You know, fire off 1,000 particles and create 1,000 puddles, and you might hurt your.
But I want them. I want 1,000 puddles. And I want them in my life now. Oh, what's this one? Try planning and mapping. What am I expecting to see here?
What are you expecting to see here? Oh, this is, if you look at the barrel, there are, I'm not sure it's very obvious actually. Basically, triplanar mapping is there are masks on the puddle. So the things on the floor, like downwards, have a different mask to things sideways. So like the side of the barrel has a different mask texture to the floor. I'm not sure that's very obvious.
I do love your barrel. Just it's gonna sound stupid. Okay, so excuse me, chat, when I say it. It just feels so wet. Because that's one thing that you always struggle with Unity. It doesn't seem to, you don't seem to struggle so much with Unreal or CryEngine, but it just feels so wet. Oh, fresh meat. You're on fire tonight, buddy. We haven't even played with your voice yet. We're just mucking about wet stuff.
Yeah, we should get as many people as we can into a voice chat demo.
Well, if you go over to the ! Discord, pop over into the public, and there's the link to the demo. All right. Oh.
So this last one is actually showing. It's kind of a joke. One of my friends said that now that we've done wet decals, we should do dry decals. So that is exactly what we did. So this is all wet except for one decal in the middle, which is removing the wetness that we've already put.
So you've inverted your asset.
Yeah, which is actually quite useful because you can do things like put a dry decal surrounding your character model, so when your character walks through a puddle, you won't see them suddenly get wet, which might be something you want to.
Or umbrella.
Yeah, although if you moved it along the floor, you'd leave like a trail of dryness behind you, which would look a bit weird.
Magic umbrella? Or you've got a canopy or something?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. So like if you've got a roof edge, you could cover like everything around the roof with water, put a dry decal under the roof, and then put particle emitters along the edge of the roof with little water splatters attached to them, and that would look really cool.
Oh, I want to play with. I want to play with puddles and splats and. Oh, all right. So, tell you what we'll do. Should I, or a fiery demon? Love where your mind's going there, Sanyo. The fiery demon is there just to dry everything. So that's his purpose in life. Now, we've got anyone who's gone and click on the link there. You're gonna download Dissonance demo, and I'm just loading up myself. So, Martin, how are we going to do this? Who's going to be the host? And
well, I guess you should host, and then everyone can see the session ID.
I'm worried about me hosting while I'm streaming with my bandwidth and.
Yeah, okay, I'll host one then. Okay, so let me just copy this. Right, so if you start it up, and then that is the ID of the session, so just join the session and paste that in.
All right, so I'm gonna have to put my volume back up. There you go, bling. Now,
to be fair, this might not work for everyone because this one is entirely P2P. So if anyone, including possibly me actually, is behind net or anything like that, it might not connect. That's just because of the network backend this is using.
All right, let's try this. I'm not going to hang up the Discord just yet. Something went wrong when trying to set up a network. Has multiple.
Basically, we couldn't establish a connection, so there's probably like a firewall or NAT problem between. The network backend this is using is like WebRTC based, so it establishes a session directly between me and you. So like normally the way you'd use Dissonance is obviously if your game is based on like Photon, you'd just use Dissonance over Photon and you wouldn't bother with this kind of thing. You don't need to worry about connectivity and all that stuff.
Do you have a demo? Is there a Dissonance demo scene that we
yeah, go into the main Dissonance folder.
Cool.
You need to download an integration, like any network integration, and then the demos are in the integrations.
Oh, I need to do my UNet shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate UNet. I hate all of it. I hate all this. I hate all networking stuff. Mainly because something always goes wrong. Let me try to load up a previous demo that I've got. If it works, I do have a demo. Let me find my demo. Google Drive. As I say, I do use Dissonance myself. I've got too many stuff. I realised I've got about 6,000 projects probably on my computer. So bear with me.
Oh yeah, sorry Fresh Me. I killed the server.
Obviously we always test that things work before we go live. That's what we do. Of course. And and 2017 game dev, game name, build, that's the wrong one. Sheriff.
If you try hosting your own server, Freshmeat, I'll see if I can join.
Why can't I? That's odd. I've gone and stuck myself. I got my project, and I can't remember where I saved the bloody project. Unity dev folder. I think that's one. And
there are demo scenes in the integrations, so we could just set one of those.
Could do. Oh, hang on. Cancel that. Let's close exit. There we go. And I'll stick unit. Oh, he's gonna. Is there any sales planned for Dissonance?
Oh, I can't connect either. You know, I always think it's funny when people ask that, because if I say yes, no one's going to buy it. So I'm going to say no comment. How do we stick in? I can't even remember how you use Window Dissonance release notes, I think. Oh, or download integrations. There you go.
Should I use what one should I get? Should I get mill or should I just use unit?
Unit's probably the easiest because it's built into the editor.
Oh no. HLA API or L?
HL API. Easier to set up.
And come on, stick it in. Come on, stick it in. Now, I'm really annoyed about because I'm trying to find the bloody project that I had, because I actually have Dissonance in a real world situation, and I've got so many. I basically build so many different versions and folders to put Unity projects in. Oh, I might have found it. Oh my word! Oh my word! I think I may have just gone and found it. It's only gone and blown the bloody doors off. Select folder. Advantages over Photon voice. Oh, Baroque. So glad he asked that question, because I could click on this. There you go, buddy. Sanya, no, I'm not. Well, I've started to use Unity Hub. I did start to use it, and I suppose I should. But when you get past about 200 Unity projects, I found it a little bit, I was getting lost. So, yeah, there's a lot of ticks.
Haven't they basically made Unity Hub required for 2019 point?
Oh, I haven't gone to 2019 yet.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I remember reading something about it basically being required to launch 2019.1 properly. So you might have fun with that.
Right, so
actually, I think another thing that Dissonance does better than Photon is if you're not using if you are using Dissonance over Photon, for Photon voice they have like this weird pricing structure where you buy CCU off them, but then you buy separate voice CCUs off them, so you pay for your voice users. Dissonance just sends as game data, so you just buy normal Photon CCUs and don't bother with buying the voice CCUs. So I think it's probably cheaper. And if you use something like, I don't know, Steamworks.net if your game's on Steam, or WebRTC or something like that, that's completely peer-to-peer, so it's free, at the cost of like maybe not being able to connect properly.
Let me, okay, I need to close. Let me close. Let me close this one. So everyone at home can see more. Okay, this is a project that I threw together when playing about with Dissonance and Salsa, I think, or the other one. Not Salsa, it was the other one. What was it called?
What, lip sync?
Crazy Minnow Studios one. Salsa.
Yeah, that's Salsa, yeah.
And here's my Dissonance setup. So do you want to talk through? Is this like a very old version of Dissonance, or is it still? Are we still?
It should be pretty similar at least. I don't think we've made any real changes to that. So the setup's pretty simple here. Like you've got the top component is Dissonance Comms. That's sort of your central place, to see all the dissonance, change settings, configuration, all that kind of stuff. And then you got the next one down is the HLAPI comms network. So that which one of those you use depends on what network backend you're using. Obviously, you might use Photon Comms Network or HLAPI Comms Network. That just like ties dissonance into your network system. And then the next two down, you've got a voice broadcast trigger, which controls who you're talking to, and a voice receipt trigger, which controls who you're listening. So you could do things like, create a global chat room with your voice broadcast trigger that you're sending to with like the push to talk key V, and then everyone has a voice receipt trigger listening to global. But then you can have a different broadcast trigger going to a different room with a different key bound to it. So you can have multi-channel voice going on, global chat or team chat. And some of these things that you're unfolding on the inspector, you've got like speaker priority. So you can, if one person's a higher priority speaker than another, when they speak, everyone else in the channel gets muted until they finish. What else? Oh, you got like positional data. So if you turn that off, the voice is just kind of sourceless. Everyone in the room hears your voice. If you turn it on, then everyone hears your voice coming from the correct direction.
Nice.
And it might be attenuated by distance.
Yeah, we like that.
What else have you got? Oh, the access tokens, that's like passwords for channels. So you can lock channels to people who don't have certain access tokens. And amplitude faders is obviously just like changing the volume of voice sent through this trigger. So you can have lots of triggers all sending the same voice. So like I could be talking and sending to global and team and proximity, and you could be hearing me in all three of those channels if you're standing near me in the game. And Dissonance will work out, well, what should be the volume based on the fact that there are three things sending this, which settings should we use? So it's going to mix all that audio stuff up for you.
So exactly, Funtech. If I'm close to somebody, then I can say that I can hear him, but if somebody's further away, he won't be able to hear.
Yeah, so Unity's got the normal stuff on audio sources where you can set fall-off curves for distance. Or not.
If we go here, voice settings.
No, so like just the normal Unity audio source component, Dissonance plays through one of those, so you can set the fall-off curve, like the distance attenuation curve, so you can set how aggressively sounds fall off with distance. That's just like a totally vanilla piece of the Dissonance, the Unity audio.
What's the most number of players you've had in or know of that have been in a game with Dissonance chatting all at the same time?
Well, it's probably cheating to say Opus, because that's like thousands of people, but they can't all hear each other at once. I did have someone contact me recently saying that bandwidth usage was like unusually high in their test scenario. And it turned out that their test scenario was to put like 32 people into a room and have every single one of them talking and every single one of them listening. So that's like 32 channels being sent and 32 times 32 channels being received. And they were like, this is taking like a lot of bandwidth. And I was like, yeah.
What was the use case for that? For like
There isn't one. Like, because for that to happen, you have to have 32 people talking over each other simultaneously. So no one would hear a word anyone's.
So it was basically 32 married people in a room talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much. I had to go there. Sorry, I had to do it. Trying to remember. I've got a. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have to cut this out of the when I put this into the YouTube video. I'll have to cut this out because it's a sneak peek of something I'm working on for the game. So yeah, it's because everyone in chat is friends and family. You'll get to see it, and let me just post a link. 32 people in a room. Sounds like wet stuff. Wow, wow, wow. That was pretty bad. That was terrible. Never mind. Truly terrible stuff that you got there, mate. Let me find a build. Which one is the latest? And 7:05. What time? I don't know which one is the right one. I think this might be the right one. Because the other thing I've discovered with Unit was you got to like force it to be like what if it's EU or US or whatever. So if you're sharing your link with somebody in America and you're in the EU, then you're not being paired on the right servers or whatever, or something.
Right.
Weird. So yeah, I've sent you a link if you want to give that a go.
Right, let's download this.
Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works, because I'm pretty sure it won't. And then I click on Unity builds. So how long did it take you to make Dissonance?
I think it's about 8 months, probably.
And this was your idea of the quick and easy asset?
Yeah, well, I'd also never used Unity before.
What? You'd never used Unity before, you made your first asset, and you were like, you know what? I'm going to go and make a voice chat system for a game engine I've never used before.
Yeah, well, it worked.
It did work. No arguing that.
I mean, I'd say actually voice isn't too bad, because although voice itself is quite complicated, it doesn't do a lot with the Unity engine. You know, it records audio in and it plays audio out, and everything in the middle is nothing to do with you. So it's not a bad starter project if you don't know Unity.
You're insane. Frenchman says, and now I'm going to quit deving. Alright, so does it work for you? Are you able to join?
So I'm running it, finding an internet match, and then join match default.
There you go.
Right, how do I talk in this?
I think it's V. Push
No,
V to talk. With a mouse. V to talk.
I don't think it's V.
V. Do you make assets for other engines?
No, not yet. We have sort of vaguely thought about porting Dissonance to Unreal. But I mean, I also don't know Unreal, which, okay, that didn't stop me with Unity.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
But I did know C# very, very well before starting with Unity, whereas I don't particularly enjoy C++, although I can write it, but
it's
I will
not
hate
forgiving,
myself.
is it?
No. And obviously, you probably can't write this in what's the visual scripting thing, Blackboard or whatever.
Alright, let's see
if you go back to Unity a second, have a look in the voice broadcast trigger under activation mode. See what key has been assigned.
hang on. Dissonance. Where am I going?
So the voice broadcast trigger under the activation mode, that controls when this broadcast trigger is active.
Where's that then?
The voice broadcast trigger component on that game object, one of those fold out things, is called activation mode.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Yeah. So, okay, PTT, and then just have a look on the input manager what the PTT axis is.
Input and tags is space.
Space.
Of course it is. Oh Jesus Christ! You gotta warn me before you start coming in my ear. Oh, Jesus Christ! Alright, let me turn off the. Let me mute my Discord. Okay. So, there we go. There's me. Hang on, you're standing right in front of me. Put some trousers on, damn it, man. So yeah, for those sitting here, what this is just a little Marty, you gotta go back with me, Marty. You gotta go back. This is what I'm working on, yes. Although now I can't actually hear you.
Oh right, sorry, I was talking through Discord, I think.
All right, so tell me when if you can actually hear me through. I'm going to mute my Discord. Are you hearing me through the your dissonance? Hang on, I'm going to mute. Marty, can you hear me? Marty. Put some pants on, man. No, this was my first ever attempt of using salsa, what it's called. So yeah, I'm. No. I think I did it right. What? Thank you. You do look quite attractive. I have to tell you that. It's like looking in a mirror. Get your fingers out of my flux capacitor. It is a great use of salsa. Wow, wow, wow. So there we go. Now the future is so bright you don't have to wear pants. So this is proof that actually dissonance does work, and even works with salsa. And if you don't believe me, then open your eyes and see. Now the eyeballs are roaming, what are they called? Roaming eyes? Random eyes? I don't know. Waiting for the train to break through the wall. There. Now the hair that you're seeing now was actually made by Secret Anorak. This is Secret Anorak's hair. So there you go. It was a gift. It was a gift that Secret Anorak made for me. Lovely fellow that he is. Can somebody give me an exclamation mark secret in chat? And he's also got a Patreon that if you want to go and support Secret Anorak, you can pop over to his Patreon and give him a couple of pennies, and it helps. He does amazing tutorials on how you can use Uma, and he also is doing like some other stuff as well. So not just Uma stuff, but he does loads of things. So fantastic, wonderful person. Somebody, even when I didn't even know him, he was always going out of his way to help. So I have to give massive thanks to Secret. So what's Marty? What's on the agenda next for you, Marty? What are you gonna do in the future? Hang on a minute. Juice it or lose it. I can't say I have. No. I was going to say that. I thought that was a game. Is it a game or is it? What is it? What does juice it or lose it do?
Oh, sorry. I thought we'd lost me there.
I was actually. Hang on. I'll tell you what. Hang on. Wait a minute. Before we get back into juice it and lose it, let's end it on the dissonance. But before I do that, let me pop back over. All right, we're back in here so everyone can see, and we've got to give it a proper farewell finale to this little test demo on the. So, give your best Doc Brown impression, quoting your favorite line from any one of the 3 movies.
Oh God, you're really putting me on the spot now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I'm terrible at impressions.
You're terrible at impressions.
I can't even remember the line now, to be honest.
Why isn't? Oh, hang on a minute. The audio is not even working. When I had the audio wasn't even working.
Have you lost me again?
No, your audio was working. I could hear you, but for some reason, every time I've got the audio on OBS, I'm looking at OBS.
Sorry, I was talking over in Discord again.
And OBS mutes the desktop audio tab. So as I'm chatting to you, that's the bloody. It's done it again. The space. I've worked out what it is. For some reason, it's mapped. It's done it. Okay. For some reason, my space bar is mapped on OBS that it's muting desktop audio. That's why people at home are like, I can't hear him. Because sometimes it's working with you, and other times I let go of the space bar and then desktop audio is muted.
Oh, right. Nice.
So that's awesome. Well done. Well done me for mapping OBS really badly. Okay. I blame Fresh Meat for that, obviously, because, I need to blame someone. So, can everyone hear each other? Can everyone hear us now at home? Way to go, Fresh Meat says. Okay. So, you've got WTF. Now, people are giving you suggestions. You've got Great Scott, Hello McFly, although I'm pretty sure Doc Brown never said Hello McFly, Tech Trader. That would be Biff. So he's got to be doing a Doc Brown line. So far, there's only one real recommendation, and that's from Sanyo, because I don't think Tech Trader's actually watched any of the movies. So, Marty?
No, it's got to be. If my calculations are correct, when this sucker reaches 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious shit. And that was possibly the worst Doc Brown impression anyone's ever. But it was definitely the best line.
Great Scott! It was the best. Should go Tech Trader's playing with his gigawatts. All right, so on that note, I think we've had enough of Doc Brown. Fresh Meat's going off to find something sharp and pokey to jab me with. So, Marty, we gotta go back to the Discord. Hey, see what I did there? Back to the. Okay, that's enough of that. I'll unmute the Discord then.
Right, back in Discord.
I was quite pleased with that. Back to the Discord, but apparently not.
You should submit a script for it. Hollywood will be all over it.
They'll be all over something. I tell you that. So yeah, that my friends. Time traveling is just too dangerous. That was me. That was literally me with 3 minutes of using Dissonance. It took me like 3 minutes when I just followed the Dissonance guide on getting Dissonance started. The most that I spent was getting Salsa to work with Dissonance, and the biggest headache I've had is Salsa with Photon. So yeah, that has been my biggest headache. The easiest part of the entire setup was Dissonance, and literally just adding in this, and like Marty was saying, you just need to click on these buttons and do your configurations. Great Scott! So yeah, it really was a piece of piss to be able to use it. It can't emphasize enough just how happy I am as a customer, especially as I bought it on a discount, on a sale. So yeah, I can't argue with that at all. But even, I have to say, I wouldn't even begrudge myself of having paid full price for it, because it was so easy. It really was. And if we pop back over to the, let me close inappropriate windows. Close those inappropriate windows. And pop back over to the chat thing. You can actually see here, what I'm saying, all of the funky stuff that you get compared to Photon Voice. Importantly, it's all the extra networking stuff that you get. So yeah, but the question that I have always keeps on poking about with is like, would this work with something like Unreal? And Marty was saying that he hasn't actually played with Unreal, but you know, C++, not very forgiving language. C# holds your hands, lets you get away with stuff. So it's a very forgiving language, the C# to a noob, much like myself.
To be fair, there are pretty big components of Dissonance that are actually written in C++. So like porting it would be possible, probably.
Ooh. But could you even have it just like, does it need to be in the same language and even in the same engine? Can't it just be sitting separately as a component, like wrapped and put into another engine? So like, yeah, you could make it in Unity, wrap it, it's compiled, done, and then just plugs into any engine, so it's engine agnostic.
Maybe. You'd probably need to do a bit of work to integrate with each engine, because I mean a key part of Dissonance is that it outputs its audio into the Unity audio pipeline. It's like if you've got mixers or audio effects or any of that stuff, you can do it on voices. So we'd need to integrate in, like, at least to the audio pipeline of whatever your engine is to be able to do that kind of stuff.
I was trying to remember the name of the bloody game that when I was chatting with Martin earlier. It was, does anyone remember that game? It was modded by everyone, and there was real life mods. It was a war game. It was a war game. No Pixel did a mod for it, a life mod, and begins with F, I think. I paid money for the bloody thing. What the hell was it called? Tell you what, I'm going to open up my Steam. Games. What was it? F. No, it wasn't an F. Come on, what was it? Bloody hell. It was. Oh, that was it. Daisy was a mod for it. Not Daisy. The one that everyone goes around playing and they got made a load of money. Oh, what was it called? Oh man, you know in your head you've got a name in your head, but you can't find it. PUBG. PUBG was a mod. The bloke originally made a mod for a different game, and then he became really successful, and then they went and gave him a load of money, and he made. Was it PUBG? Is that what I'm thinking about? Or is it the other one? Come on, people at home. Save me. Save me from myself. You know you can do it. Oh, what was it called? Everyone at home's like, what are you talking? Armour. That's it. Armour. Yeah, it was Daisy. It was Daisy I was thinking of. Armour. Okay, so Armour 3. No, he's got it. Navy Mind's a genius. Super Mario Brothers. Fortnite. No, it was Armour. Funtech and Merciless Enemy all got it right. I'm an idiot. For some reason, chat wasn't sharing. I had to refresh. So, Armour. Thank you, boys. Sexy badgers that you all are. Basically, Armour had this. Can't remember what language or where their plugins are made in. It's probably going to be something silly, but you could get a plugin and it would work with TeamSpeak and allow you to use the radio chat in game through TeamSpeak, and they use that from doing Lua. Yeah, it's probably Lua, or Photon, or Python rather. I call it Bugsy, the worst game I ever bought. I didn't mind Daisy because I just ran around trying to role play with people and get eaten. So I wasn't too mind. But yeah, that's why I see that you had this game, Armour. It has a plugin ability, but then you have the entire chat system is standalone. It's not even nothing to do with the game at all. It's using TeamSpeak. So as long as the engine, like you're saying, take advantage of the voice, but you could do anything you wanted. It doesn't have to be all bells and whistles, plug and play in the actual engine of you're playing about with. As long as you've
totally. And I said up in chat a minute ago, like if you're doing your game over something that you pay for bandwidth, like HLAPI, you pay for your data. So you could do the voice over WebRTC with Dissonance. So it's forming like a dynamic peer-to-peer session for voice in the background, and you don't pay for that. Some people might not be able to connect to the voice. That's like the downside of using P2P, obviously. But yeah, you can mash up things like that. Or you could even have like voice goes through HLAPI and it tries to connect to WebRTC. And if it succeeds, you talk through that. If it fails, you talk through HLAPI, so you can like fall back. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do.
So you're not going to tell us about the next secret things you got on your agenda, though, are you? Well, you got your fancy folders. That's coming.
Yeah, fancy folders should be coming in a couple of weeks. That needs some more testing, like in different editor versions. I'm kind of worried they're going to have broken everything with 2019 point. So we'll see how that goes.
Do you need to support 2019 now? Is that like the minimum that you need to do it?
Well, generally we support everything from the current LTS and up, basically. So like with Dissonance at the moment, we support 2017.4, 2018.123, and 2019. And we'll probably do the same with Fancy Folders.
I love, look, you got a little audio. It's got an audio file inside it, and it tells you there's an audio file inside it because it's got that little icon. What's inside my prefab? Have I got a prefab inside the prefabs? Because it tells me there is. Tell me there was an icon there to say there's prefabs inside there. Oh, look at that. And there's going to be, what's that? I don't know. That's a mesh. That's material. And there's a scene inside there. Nice, lovely.
Did you notice the detailed text code on those 3 folders as well? Like Fancy Folders by Placeholder Software.
Where's that?
On the
Oh,
main.
yeah. Oh my word. Asset source code. Look in here. Oh. Now, yeah, good question. Now, seeing as you actually are a procedural man, even though you're playing about with voice and wet stuff, any procedural apps in the pipeline?
Not of the next two that we're doing. We did think about doing a procedural app. Thought about a few things, like roads was one that we really wanted to do. Because I've done some work in the past with generating really neat roadmaps, so you can sort of blend together like a sort of Manhattan style roadmap with lots of city blocks at angles, and like a Parisian style roadmap with lots of roundabouts and radial roads. You can kind of blend them together, smash a river through the middle of it, and it'll like bend the roadmap around the river, that kind of thing.
Oh,
We thought about that. Problem with that is the procedural part is generating the road maps, but that's kind of useless on its own without actually generating the mesh for the road, which is a huge asset all on its own. So that's kind of two assets in one. So we're not going to do that as our next thing. But yeah, we've got a few ideas like that. I also did a lot of work in the past with procedural floor plan generation, which I thought would be pretty interesting for generating dungeons. If you could sort of specify sets of constraints, like a dungeon entrance can't go next to the boss room, for example. You don't want to immediately go to the boss. Specify constraints like that, and it will assemble you a dungeon based on all these constraints that you specify. That's another thing we've thought of. But again, that's like a map generator, but you've got to generate all the meshes and stuff to go with it, which is kind of another asset all on its own. So it's difficult with procedural applications because they're kind of two things in one. So nothing immediate on that. I really want to do something procedural because there's just so much cool stuff.
Have you thought about partnering with other people who are already out there and working on stuff?
Yeah, I mean, something we looked at with the roads is there are a few road generation apps on the App Store where you can hand lay out roads and it'll generate you the meshes and the junctions and street lights and all this kind of stuff. So we thought about partnering with one of those. So we would generate where the roads go and it would generate the actual meshes for them. So that's definitely something we could look at. For dungeon generation, obviously we could like assemble together tile sets of dungeons. That's another thing we could have a mess. So we might look into that after we've done our current two assets.
What about a game?
Sorry?
Have you thought about making a game?
Well, yeah, we actually started making a game at the end of last year, and we killed the project. Basically because the game was, like performance-wise, we really wanted to use the ECS. But this was like late last year, say October. ECS still isn't ready for prime time, so you can imagine what it was like last October. So yeah, we kind of killed the whole game project because it wouldn't perform very well with game objects, and ECS was just really painful to use. I mean, it's cool. I love the ideas behind ECS, but you should actually finish it.
They should actually finish it.
That's my pro tip to Unity.
I love how wet it is. I do love its wetness. So you were about to say something, and I just cut you in when I asked you about the game.
What was I about to say? Oh, I was about to say we were going to develop a game last year, actually.
Oh, read your mind.
But yeah, we killed that off. I mean, obviously games are also a pretty risky business, and it's not something we have any experience in. So that's another pretty risky aspect to it.
So would you recommend people to be go down the asset creator seller route rather than the game maker route for somebody sitting in his bedroom?
During a gold rush, be the man selling the pickaxe, right?
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Tech Trader asking, speaking of finishing it, how's Muck? My very own first attempt at making an asset. I did the, when people say, do as I say, not as I do. So I basically had horrendous scope creep. I finished it. It was done, and then I wasn't happy with it. And then some people asked for extra features, and basically I got to I rewrote it about 4 times, and it's at the point now where I don't even remember any of my code. I opened it up, I've given it to people to test, and they're like, I got no idea how to use this, and I go, no, neither do I, to be honest. Neither do I anymore.
What actually is the asset?
It's can somebody click send a link who won't get banned of the video for Mark from one of my YouTubes. It's a asset that is called Messi's Ultimate Character Creator. So it's for you can actually, you don't have to use it in that way. So you can make a screen in your game where you create your character. So you choose your hats, your shoes. You can put in like outfits. So you add prefabs on, you mount it onto it, or you can, if the mesh has got different types of sub meshes in them, you can hide and show them.
Alright, that's really cool.
Fresh Meat couldn't be bothered to find the actual video, so he's just linked to the entire YouTube channel. Thank you, Freshy, you lazy git. So if I find, where is it? Because I'm too lazy. Why you gotta give lazy? Because I'm too lazy for myself to look for it. There we go. So let's fast forward. So here we go. If you can still see my screen, and it works. Actually, at this point, it does actually work. I just don't have all of the fancy editor stuff, so that's a massive pain. And also, knowing, here we go. So you can change his hair, his beard, and all that kind of shenanigans. And then it opened up the fear. Like, even if I finished this, I know that I would have a lot of support that I'd have to give to my users. TechTrader pops in with, is supporting your apps a pain? So
yeah, I was gonna say I think that depends a lot on the price of your asset. Like for Dissonance, we get a surprising number of people who come along and are like, I spent days trying to solve this problem, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're missing one line of code. Like, people seem to try really, really hard not to ask for Dissonance support because it's an expensive asset. On the other hand, for WetStuff, we get these really low effort support requests where you just get an email saying it done work, and it's not very helpful. So, like, support isn't too much of a pain, but I would definitely say it's more of a pain if you sell cheap assets.
Yeah.
Which is kind of paradoxical, really. Like, you'd think if you buy an expensive asset, you'd expect good support. But if you buy a cheap asset, you can't expect anything. But it just doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. It's completely the opposite. It is bizarre. Messy coder, patience is the key. Yes, patience. All right, Dad. So
actually, I would say the other way around. Stick it on the asset store. Like, get the first version out that works and get it for sale, because the first version of Dissonance that we put out really sucked. Like, the network backend wasn't very good. We've rewritten the network backend completely since then. The microphone capture system has also been completely rewritten, and parts of the playback pipeline have been completely rewritten. That's like the only 3 components of Dissonance, and they've all been rewritten since release based on like user feedback ultimately. So I would say don't be patient. Like, get the first thing out that even vaguely works and that you're not completely embarrassed to sell to people, and get that user feedback.
That's good advice. So how long was it while you had that version of Dissonance, with those features that you're saying that you've completely rewritten that you weren't happy with? What was that gap?
Well, we put it out in January and got like no sales. Got some actual sales in February, got some feedback, and we did have a beta testing group actually before we put it on the store, which was really, really invaluable. I would say maybe a couple of months, which equates to like a couple of releases. We tended to do like a release a month. Pretty quickly, it was apparent that the network system really, really sucked. And the main problem with it was kind of okay for HLAPI, but it was just a complete nightmare to write backends for other network systems. So I completely rewrote it before doing our second integration, which was Photon, I think. And then that came out. So it wasn't actually out for very long.
Right. So it's so different when you look at it now, that all of these integrations that you've got.
Yeah, and it's really easy to write network integrations at this point. Like I can sit down and do one in a couple of days, and that's with a network system that I don't know, and testing it up to a quality that I'm happy to release to users. So, the actual coding time is like a couple of hours probably.
Wow.
It's really not very hard at all. I mean, ultimately, all you have to do is like send packets, receive packets, and tell Dissonance when somebody left the session. That's all you have to do. So it shouldn't be very hard.
And how long did it take him to write WetStuff?
That was
you as a pet.
It's hard to say because he was working on WetStuff and Dissonance kind of at the same time for quite a while. Like WetStuff was in the prototype stage for probably like 6 months, just because not a lot of progress was being made on it. I'd say once it was actually the main focus, probably 3 or 4 months to get it usable. And then it took me almost a full month to make that demo video. And then we put it on the store maybe a month or 2 after that. We kind of spent a while with it in beta because we didn't have very many beta testers. So we wanted to sort of, get as much testing as we could out of the few people that we had.
Do you think it's better to get more beta testers?
Yeah, just because like we got, I think 10 or we put the demo video out and got like 10 or 11 people who were interested. And ultimately like 2 of them sent us feedback. And one of them,
Really?
The feedback was like, yeah, it's great. Yeah, the others just didn't come back. And one of them, the feedback was like, yeah, this isn't, which is honestly not very helpful feedback. And the other one gave us a ton of detailed feedback, like it didn't work in these situations, it broke here, blah, blah, blah. That's great. That's exactly what we wanted. But, that's like 10 to 1. So, yeah, you need a lot of testers to get anything useful.
Yeah, I can completely relate to that. Isn't that right, Irish? Where's Irish? Is he gone? Irish is gone. He's left the room. I said to Irish John, and only after I kept on badgering him, poking him to test it and give me some feedback. And then by the time he did, I'd completely forgotten how the asset worked. I was like, Irish, when are you going to use my asset? Okay, I've used it. How does it work? I've got no idea. It's been too long. I've completely forgotten. Tech Trader, I should sell it for $50 and then sell it to you cheap. Mate, I'll tell you what, Tech, if when you do your sub renewal, I'll add you to the beta list and you can be a beta tester. How's that, Tech? How's that, mate? Is that a good deal? I think that's a good deal. There you go. I do love the WetStuff. I really do. I'm very impressed with it, I have to say.
You should mess around with the particle system stuff. You can do really, really cool stuff.
I mean, the particle one's lovely, but you were basically saying don't have tens of thousands of and I want that.
Well, I mean, up to a few hundred is okay because it uses instance rendering, so it's fairly cheap. But thousands is pushing it.
God, this is lovely.
But you could definitely use this for like footsteps or dripping roof lines or anything like that.
Oh, there's so many ideas I'm thinking of. So many. Or spitting.
Or spitting, yeah, if that's a core feature of your game.
Oh, there's a lot of spitting going on in my game. There's a lot of spitting going on. Oh. Can you imagine that? The spit. Oh, what about on like if you were gonna throw a bucket of water over someone's head?
That would be difficult because there's a lot of flowing water involved there, and Dissonance doesn't flow. Like, not Dissonance, WetStuff doesn't. Like, WetStuff is entirely static puddles of water. So you might need to sort of mask it with a particle system that looks like the water splashing everywhere, and then leave behind wet splashes. Or you could possibly fake it with, if you were really careful with your mask texture, you could have a splash that sort of grows very quickly by like very rapidly moving the threshold through your mask texture. I don't know how that.
I like it, mate. So oh man, I'm just going to sit here and play about with it. I said to you earlier that I was going to, we'll try to keep it to an hour. We're trying to keep try to keep the chat to an hour, but I'm sitting there playing about with WetStuff for about 2 hours by itself. I'm glad that we managed to get into a demo from Dissonance to show people that it does actually work, and it works quite easily with Salsa. It works with Photon. That was a unit demo that I put in, and very quick, and it's very simple to configure as well from the menus and the options that we played about with. This is the surprise gem for me. Baroque, you should drop in the link for the issues feedback that you found, pal, and you've got his email address as well. So if problems that you had trying to get it to work, well, we've got him now. You've got him on support. Drop him a line. Drop Martin a line, and was it Tom?
Tom.
There you go. I remembered his name. Hey, I remembered his name. Martin and Tom from Placeholder Software. I'll keep persevering. Totally agreed. It's awesome. Yeah, man. And when you get a bug, keep on poking them. You paid.
It gets back to what I said about testing, right? Like, we really value people who have bugs if they tell us about them.
Don't keep the bug to yourself. The bug is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, Funtech Studio wants to see bird poop mid-flight. Now, much like blood, I'm not sure how you're going to have like the big, thick, wipe gloop that is bird poop. Now, anyone who's had a bird poo on them, you'd know that, depending on what bird it is, and probably what that bird's been eating, it's not really going to be consistency of water. I mean, I still remember quite vividly in my mind, I went to a shop. Now, Mike will know the shop. It's called Greg's the Bakers. Now, they used to have, and I'm talking about, this is like 25 years ago, probably a bit longer, about 25, 26 years ago. I went and I bought a packet of mini donuts. These are probably exactly the same mini donuts that they're still selling now, probably the same ones that are on the shelf 25 years ago, just a little bit harder. And I'm there eating them, and I've got this mini donut in my hand, and it's millimeters from my lips as my hand slowly moves, and someone's talking to me. I'm slightly distracted, and my hand is paused just in front of my mouth, and that's when the bird pooped, landing on my mini donut as it was just about to go into my mouth. What are the odds on that? And as I looked at it down as it was entering my mouth, I went, threw the mini donut in the air, came down towards a friend of mine. He kicked the mini donut because he was like, poop. It then went up in the air, and for some bizarre reason, it turned into like a, keepy uppies in football with this mini donut of bird poop all over. And I can tell you that now, 25 years later, I still remember that there is no way on earth that it looked wet like water. It was white and gloopy. So no, I don't think WetStuff would work for bird poop. So there you go, pal. That's the long way to get the answer for why your bird poop needs a different asset from the asset store. Maybe it could be the next asset from the Placeholder Studios guys. Do you think you could make a bird poop asset?
Well, we could, but you could do it with any decal system.
You could, but there's many ways that you could.
That's why we didn't do blood as well, because blood's not transparent. So why? Like any decal system that can paint stuff into the world, you sort
of. Who ended up with the most dirty shoes? I think it was Tom, a friend of mine called Tom. Not the Tom who made WetStuff. Ironically, a different Tom. There's a lot of Toms out there. You can never know. Although I think I might be a little bit older than you might, mate.
Yeah, I think Tom would have been 4 at the time, so probably not.
It's also very depressing. Really, like, there's a lot of people I interview, like, so you've made this really complex asset. How long have you been coding for? Like, 2 years. How old are you? 15. I hate you so much right now. So there's a lot of geniuses out there, and it's great to see some British talent, not just always, Australian, or there's a lot of Polish talent out there. Would snow work? Well, we mentioned this earlier. Would snow doesn't actually really make things wet. When snow melts that things get wet. So you could use the decal as the puddle from the snow melting, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could totally place a puddle, and obviously you can fade it in as the snow melts and stuff like that. But for snow itself, again, you want like a really thick layer on the ground, which isn't transparent, so it's not like it just doesn't look anything like water. You could maybe do it for ice. I don't know how that would look, because ice can be some kind of transparent, but has kind of a sort of crystalline pattern in it. So it can't do that at the moment, but that's maybe something we could consider.
That would be nice, and it would be good. Be your next demo challenge. Challenge accepted. All right, buddy. I'm gonna have to let you go because I'll just be sitting there talking about bird poop and puddles all day with you.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been absolute blast. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for popping in. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for all the support you have given me as a customer. I am a very happy customer. It's also one of the reasons why I invited you on the show, because it was like, I am a happy customer. Would you like to come on my little show and chat with some friends of mine on Twitch? Because well, customer support, high marks, quality of asset, very high marks. Happy fellow all around, I have to say. And after playing about with your WetStuff and your fancy folders, I am incredibly excited about what we've got in the future with Placeholder Software. And I love the name as well, very cheeky.
Well, that's mostly because we couldn't agree on a name. So we went with that.
I figured it. All right, buddy. Thanks, and expect to see you back again, and when you've got something new to show.
All right, for sure. Yeah, I'll email you when we've got something to show.
All right, catch you later, pal. Bye.
All right, bye.
Well, that was it for another live dev interview. We've got many more of these beautiful badges for you to watch and listen to. And if you pop over to twitch.tv/themessycoder and click on the VOD section, you can also catch the full-length interviews, all of them, over on Twitch. Actually, maybe 2 or 3 of them were missing because the videos got corrupted on Twitch. But forget about that part. Go over to allthews.twitch.tv/themessycoder. Click on that follow button and watch the VODs there. Or you can also watch them here over on YouTube. That's right, where you are now. That's youtube.com/themessycoder too. We've also got Twitter. Twitter.com/themessycoder. Pretty much anything you want to stick in front of the Messy Coder, you can stick it there and he'll gladly be on the backside of it. So if you do like these videos, you want to see more, click on that juicy subscribe button, click on that magic bell. If you do like it, click it. Till next time. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.